Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. Great to be with you this Tuesday morning. Today is February 17th, 2026. Barring unplanned interruptions, we get together most weekday mornings at this time to go over how the SPE program works. I think the more that someone understands it, the more excited they'll be, and it's really too good of an offer to pass up if you know of anyone that's looking for funding to start or grow a business. Now, in my shared screen here, we have the spefunding.com website in the background. You're obviously able to navigate there on your own time. There is the ability to register for our daily Zooms that's been added. But the primary purpose of the spefunding.com website is to direct individuals to the three steps. This provides a very thorough and in-depth and transparent understanding of this model. So today what I'm going to do is give you a quick overview, but it does not replace the in-depth description that you can get by going through the training videos and then participating. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our agenda today. And it sounds kind of lofty. Maybe it sounds kind of like a marketing pitch, but it's not. And I think you'll come to the same conclusion once we finish this morning. We're going to show legally and ethically how anyone can get at least 250,000 for business funding. And so again, I'm going to go through the highlights, but strongly encourage you to take the time to go to spefunding.com and complete the three steps so you have even more knowledge. All right, so there are certain things that we need to know if our goal is to get business funding. So the first is kind of obvious, but a lot of entrepreneurs overlook this. If you want business funding, you must have a fundable business. So often we'll have people that come to us, no, I just want funding. Just get me money. Well, do you qualify? Do you have a fundable business? I don't care about that. Just give me funding. Well, that's too good to be true. So a big part of what we do and our affiliates we work with is building financial literacy, and we'll hit some of those highlights here momentarily of what that means to have a fundable business. Anyone that comes to you and says, hey, can I get business funding? I need business funding. Typically, what they should be thinking is, I need a fundable business, because without a fundable business, there's not going to be business funding. But we'll put some meat on that bone here. Now, another aspect that a lot of people overlook is, yeah, I need money to start or grow a business, but how that is structured, how the capital raise is structured, how it's built out, how it's laid out, how it's described to the lender is incredibly important. Well, people that come to us, I want 1 million, I want 5 million, I want 10 million. Okay, well, that's okay. It's okay to go after a big number, but we need to build out the story behind it. How much money do we need? What are we going to use it for? How's it going to make money? How are we going to be able to afford to pay the lender back? What type of objective feasibility data do we have that states that this is realistic? It's not just made up. So the loan structure is really important in addition to having a fundable business. Now, the nice thing is it doesn't have to be a mystery. While there are different types of business funding that have different underwriting criteria, in general, if we're talking about larger business loans, there's a formula, and that formula for funding is stated here: E plus the three C's. So, in summary, what that means is if we want to have a fundable business, we need to have a fundable business entity, and that entity needs to bring forth the three C's: credit, collateral, and capacity. So it's not really hard to understand that, but there's a lot of people out there that want funding, that need funding, that either they don't understand what it even means to have a fundable business, which we just described, and or they don't even have those elements. So they want something that's too good to be true. I want chocolate chip cookies, but I don't have any chocolate chips. Well, you're not going to make chocolate chip cookies without chocolate chips. We're not going to get business funding, large term loans, low interest loans, if we don't have this criteria. So you're going to see over the next couple minutes how we can provide that for any entrepreneur. And that's what makes that legal loophole real. But we'll go through and I think you'll come to the same conclusion. All right, so there's a decision that every entrepreneur needs to make. And I guess we all make it in a matter of course of the day. For lunch today, do you want to make your lunch or do you want to go buy your lunch at a restaurant? Not a great analogy, but you kind of get it. If we're going to want to raise capital, we either need to buy a business that's ready to go to funding, or we're going to need to build a business that's ready to go to funding. Because we've already said you've got to have a fundable business. We can't skip that. We've discussed briefly what the formula for funding is. There's more depth on training too for that. But the buy versus build is a crucial decision. And frankly, through our model, we can help them with both. But here's what I found out from doing this for over 10 years. Most people want fast, easy, and free, or fast, easy, and cheap. And so building a fundable business is not really fast, easy, and cheap. But buying one, acquiring one can be, and that's where you're going to see that we recommend most people go. Because to build something from scratch, could you go build your own house? Sure, you could, but is it a lot easier to buy a house that some professionals already built and just move into it? It typically is. So, if we're not going to build a fundable business, which is theoretically possible and it's the same formula, what we're going to need to do is figure out if we're not going to build, we're going to need to figure out where to buy. And that's exactly what the SPE does. The SPE, the special purpose entity, which is our topic, it's our website, it's our model, is a legal loophole so we can provide people a fundable business. Imagine that. We provide them the fundable business so we can go right to funding, which is much different than trying to build it from scratch, which can be a long road that a lot of people will quit before they ever build it out on their own. Now, the structure, we talked about how structure is important. When we built the structure of the SPE model, it works. Now, I realize you may look at it and say, oh, no, that doesn't match what I want to do. But the special purpose entity means it's a separate entity for the capital raise. So, sure, you can want to go do other things with your other business. But for this business, the SPE, it is designed specifically to get the capital raise. So it has to be structured to work. We guarantee it works. But the reason that it works 100% of the time is the design. So it's designed to be an expansion of a management consulting firm business that qualifies for a minimum of 250,000. So again, I'm hitting you with a lot. If you've not gone through the detailed trainings on SPE funding, strongly recommend that you do so. But the primary point I want to make right now is you're going to run into individuals that state, well, 250,000, that's not enough. It's not what they need. That's okay. We can replicate this model multiple times and do it twice and get 500,000, do it 8 times and get 2 million and so forth. So we can use this model for larger capital raises, but each SPE is specifically set for 250,000. If you need more of the reasons why, get over here into the detailed training. But it's a golden ticket for 250,000. If we need more than 250,000, then we need to do it multiple times, and we can do multiple times concurrently all at one time or sequentially one after another. Our model is legal and ethical, and we'll speak more to that here in a moment. But the bottom line is we're providing the formula for funding and the structure. And by doing that, it works. It works. Our team, as we talk about a legal and ethical model, as we build out the SPE model, we wanted to have the highest level of compliance, the highest level of effectiveness, and a really talented team. And so all of our team members are either attorneys or paralegals. As I've mentioned, that the training modules on SPE funding gives you more details. I do want to cover in our few minutes together this morning kind of what's included. Hopefully, you understand the concept of what we're doing and why we do it and how it works. But as far as if you were to come to spefunding.com, watch the training videos under one and two, and come over to number three, click right here, it's going to pop up the participation agreement. So you can literally plug in. It starts with a one-page flyer that just reiterates what we're talking about, discusses how there's no out-of-pocket cost, and then there's an application. The application is divided into two pieces. The top half is business information, if applicable. If we have it, fine. If we have some of it, fine. If we don't have any of it, that's okay. And then the bottom half is key person, business owner information. Pull back up my notes. So we can allow individuals to come in, use the SPE model, and it's designed for no out-of-pocket cost. Now, does that mean it's free? It is not free. No, it's not free, but it's paid for out of the capital raise, but it's not free. Very affordable, and we actually cover it very transparently if we go back over here. So what I did is, we go here and then we clicked on step three and it popped this up. And so it describes there is a $5,000 deposit. Why is there a deposit? Why would I pay to get a loan? Well, you're not paying to get a loan. You're paying to get an SPE that qualifies for a loan. No one should charge you for a loan. If you already have a fundable business, go to your bank and apply and get funded. But most people don't have a fundable business. They don't have what's needed. That's what we're providing. And there is a deposit for us to do that, but it's not paid out of pocket. When someone pays the $5,000 deposit, we're going to set up their SPE. We're going to put together the feasibility data and the LOI. I know maybe not all that makes sense, but if you go through the rest of this training, it will. But let's go through in summary what's included so we can all walk away with at least a somewhat clear understanding. So we do provide a shelf corp that's designed for funding. It's a C corp. It's clean. It's compliant. If you don't want to use our shelf corp, you don't have to, but that's included. Secondly, we provide collateral. Because what did we say the formula for funding is? It's the E plus three C's. So if I'm here telling you that we provide the formula for funding with the SPE, we need to provide it. So with the E, we're providing the shelf corp, the entity, and now I'm on to the three C's. We provide collateral. Again, this isn't about what you think or what you care about or what I think or what I care about. It's truth. What do lenders look for? This is what they look for, the E plus three C's. So if our goal is to get a large business loan, we need to give them what they require, and that's what's included in the SPE. That's why I'm going through it. So Shelf Corp comes, which is the E. We provide collateral. We provide credit worthiness. Now, on credit worthiness, we're talking about business credit worthiness. So we build trade lines on to that Shelf Corp or whatever entity you want us to use. From a personal credit perspective, and we try to minimize the impact of personal credit, but if personal credit were ever to become an issue in getting that $250,000 loan, we have 6 or 7 of us that will be a co-signer, and we can provide a co-signer. So personal credit won't be a barrier, and business credit won't be a barrier because we add those trade lines. Capacity is the third C. So again, what are we doing? We're going through, and I'm explaining to you, frankly, very briefly, how we're providing the E plus three C's. So the entity, collateral's the first C, credit's the second C, and then capacity. This is cash flow. Historically, this is where most of our clients in the past years and our past iterations have gotten hung up. And it's, they'll always want to blame someone else. They'll want to blame you or me. It's never their fault. But lenders want to see that the borrower can afford to pay back the loan. Can you imagine that the lender wants to feel good that the borrower can pay them back? Well, we can create some of that through financial projections, which we include. But above and beyond that, they also say, well, what's coming in now? So, can a pre-revenue business get funding? Yes, in certain circumstances. But what's even better is not to go for funding as pre-revenue. Let's go to funding and show them a really solid bank deposit. 1 month of here is how well we're doing now. We're looking to expand, we're looking to grow. Well, that sounds great, but where does that money come from? Literally, we built that in. So in the SPE, we're providing the E plus all three C's. We're going to provide $250,000 of the first month income. Well, that sounds too good to be true. How would you do that? Well, we're going to literally go get clients under contract for the SPE. We're going to transfer those clients over, and then those clients are going to be paying the SPE. So it's generating true organic income going into the SPE's bank account. So we're literally providing the E plus three C's. That's why we can guarantee what we do. With that, we do guarantee a $250,000 capital raise. And as I mentioned before, that can be replicated, it can be duplicated. But each SPE is only good for 250. And people curse at us, they hate us, they hang up on us. No, I need more. Well, that's fine. But when you go buy that tube of chocolate chip cookie from the grocery store, the refrigerated section, it's good for 2 dozen cookies. Well, I need more cookies than 2 dozen. Then you need more tubes of dough. An SPE is set up specifically for 250,000. Whether you like it or you don't like it, that's what it's built to do, and it'll do it, and we guarantee it. If you need more than 250, then we just need to duplicate the process. We need to replicate it, which is fine. So SPEs are structured in a very interesting way. So we're setting up a management consulting firm that's applying for a working capital loan. You own it and you're getting the funds. So you might say, well, what obligation does that create for you afterwards? It's up to you. There's actually three different scenarios. If you want to actually operate that management consulting firm, you can. That's option one. Option two is you could own it, but not operate it. So, in other words, we have other people that do it for you. We delegate. Or the third is we don't operate it at all. We're just using it for the capital raise, and then we don't operate it, which is fine. It's up to you which of those three scenarios. Also, there's the option that once we've done the capital raise, which we guarantee, we can either turn around and close the entity if you want. Wouldn't recommend it, but we could turn around and just close it. Or a good option is to sell it. Businesses are bought and sold all the time. You can buy grocery stores, you can buy nail salons, you can buy factories, you can buy restaurants, you can buy gas stations. And so it is a true business that could be sold, quite frankly, at a profit in many cases. We've had a number of questions pop up here, and I don't know how else to emphasize it. It's designed to have no out-of-pocket cost. So here I'm saying it here, it's been stated on this page, over on the flyer, no upfront cost. So not free, but the cost of the SPE comes out of the capital raise process. And so I know some of you are concerned about that, but that's the way it works. So if you had someone that said, well, okay, this sounds great, but I don't have any money, can I still participate in the SPE? Yes, because it does not require any upfront cost. Yes, yes, yes. The results are guaranteed. It's in writing. We guarantee 250,000 in the first 30 days. Again, that's not meant to impress you or wow you. That may not be enough. And we've covered several times. If you need more, we can replicate the process. So with that being said, let's wrap up with what questions that you have. However, I will state this. If you have not gone through in detail these three steps, which has embedded several trainings, you're not going to know what you need to know. This is an overview. But if you've watched those trainings, Go ahead and type questions into the Q&A. We'll address those now. If you have questions but you've not watched this training, come back tomorrow. We're going to have this training on a daily basis, 8 o'clock Central, most mornings. If you need to figure out how to register for it, it's right here. But let's go ahead and get into the questions that you all have. But really, you should only be asking questions in this live session if you've diligently gone through these 3 steps. Again, I know you're busy, you're probably very successful, but we're talking about a grant subsidized $250,000 guaranteed program. We do need participants to show some commitment, not money commitment, but commitment in terms of go through the training to understand in detail how it works. But let's go ahead and we'll go through the trainings that you have now. Jim asked, will this recording be accessible afterwards? Yes, we put it up on our YouTube channel, but remember, Jim, we're having this training now on a daily basis. So tomorrow's training is going to be covering the same information. Each day it'll be covering the same information. So you can come back, get a reintroduction, come back after you've watched the detailed training on the website and ask questions, bring guests or what have you. Let's see, Daryl has signed up for the program. Looks like he needs some one-on-one help. So our phone number here is at the bottom of spefunding.com, 903-352-3390. If you need individualized help and you are a client, definitely recommend calling in so we can look at your file and help you individually, Daryl. I don't know that we could handle that here in a group Zoom. KE asks, do you have to pay the deposit? Well, we've covered that there is no out-of-pocket cost, but we've also stated that there is a deposit and it's paid out of financing. So for us to do the work that needs to be done, the deposit needs to be paid, but it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. It can come out of the financing. Daryl asks, isn't the deposit out of pocket money? No, Daryl. It's paid out of financing, which is stated here. Rod's asking about the financing terms of the deposit. It depends. You're going to fill out this app, Rod. So you're going to come over here, Rod or anyone else, SPE funding, hopefully go through the information, click on step 3, which will bring up this flyer. Then it's going to bring up this app, which I discussed to you before. And then with that, we're going to get you first tranche offers, first round offers. How much you get is going to be based on the strength of your application. Everyone gets at least one offer. But as far as how much each person will get or the repayment terms, we don't know until we get you offers. But the nice thing, Rod and everyone else, is you can come over here, fill this out, no hard inquiries, and we can get you offers to choose from. But everyone gets at least one offer. Aziz is talking about the joint venture model, and we didn't really discuss that. But yes, on spefunding.com, there is a training down here at the bottom on the joint venture model. It's more of an advanced topic. Daryl asked, then what is the deposit? Well, Daryl, we've covered it several times. It's a $5,000 deposit paid out of financing. I don't know what else to do for you, Daryl. It's there. Yeah, so if anyone needs individualized assistance, 903-352-3390. We answer the phone calls live, but sometimes we have more calls and we have staff to answer it, so it may go into voicemail. Leave a voicemail, leave a concise message, and we'll have the appropriate staff person call you back. So with that being said, thank you for your time. In summary, spefunding.com is your go-to resource to really get an in-depth understanding of how this legal ethical model works, how we can present a legal loophole to get anyone at least $250,000 in 30 days is described here through the 3 steps. But today what we did is we covered an overview, and then we'll be back on a daily basis to answer specific questions. Now, if it's specific about your file and you're a participant, this isn't the place to address it. That should be a one-on-one. But if you're trying to decide, does this make sense for you, or do you want to become an affiliate and help other people? Then this training is where we need to address it and go through the 3 steps and come back and maybe join us tomorrow with any follow-up questions. The way to join us is here, been added to the website. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good day.